One of my absolute favorite players coming out of this draft this last season was Ed Ingram. The right guard has won the Minnesota Vikings job, and I am very excited to break his tape down because he was a player that I felt was a potential steal. Let's get right into his tape. On this play, Ed Ingram is going to double team with the center on this defensive tackle. Now, the defensive tackle is lined up in the 2-eye technique, which means he is slightly to the inside shade of the guard. One of the things that I love about Ingram is he's very strong, he's very tough, he's very physical. And in this play, he does a great job mirroring that defensive tackle. Let's get into the next rep. Now, one of the things that I like to do in this channel is to show you guys every single positive and negative rep. Now, this play has some positives. It also has some negatives. Let's break it down. Now, number 98 is going to fake to the inside, and then he's going to try to come back around to the outside. Also referred to as a hezzy move, Ingram does a really solid job. Now, he doesn't fall for the inside fake. He also doesn't fall or lose when number 98 swipes the hands right there. Ingram does a really nice job mirroring number 98, sticking to him and shutting it down, at least initially. And from there, he does end up losing this block because number 98 is going to take this outside lane here. Ingram may have thought the quarterback had already gotten rid of the ball, and as you guys see, the quarterback hadn't. Initially, really solid rep by Ingram, but then he does lose. And again, it's not a big deal. One of the things people oftentimes don't understand with these type of plays is an offensive line coach is going to bring these plays up, and he's going to look at these as teach tape. He's going to bring these up during practice and say, hey, this is why you lost. This is why you did a negative job in a certain part of this play. But he's also going to give him credit for not falling for that fake inside move back to the outside, the swat of the hands, and really just shutting it down, mirroring him, and being in a position to win, right? Not every rep is a winning rep, but there are still positives you can take from a rep, right? So take what you will with that rep. Let's get into the next one. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Ed Ingram is obviously a very powerful football player. He moves people. He knows blocking angles. He knows where to position his body in order to win reps. And I think that's the type of stuff that honestly makes an offensive lineman good or not good. Blocking angles. In my opinion, it's the most important part of playing offensive line. On this play, you have this power concept with this guard pulling, which means everyone else is basically blocking down. And of course, understand the right tackle has to get to the backside linebacker, but Ingram has to turn this guy. And it's all about angles. It's all about taking the proper angles when you're double teaming to make sure you're able to turn your hips when needed. And in this instance right here, the right tackle, right guard do a good job. And look at where the right guard is relative to this defensive tackle. The right tackle has created a wall right here. Like at this point, that defensive tackle is not going to be able to go any further. And even the right tackle does a good job getting up to the linebacker, as you guys can see. The running back does a great job to avoid the pile up right here. He's going to kick it outside. He picks up a massive chunk of yards. Great job right here by Ingram, the offensive line in general, as well as by the running back. One of the big things about playing offensive line is you have to anchor. In a pass set, you have to at some point beat the guy in front of you. In this play right here, you see Ed Ingram doing just that. Number 67 does a fantastic job anchoring down, and you really see his legs kick back at a certain point where he really anchors down. Now, obviously, the defensive tackle is trying to bull rush. Ingram initially takes that bull rush, and you're going to see right here, boom, right there. There's those legs, and he's going to anchor down and stop this defensive tackle in his tracks. As a quarterback, is there anything better than being able to see a clean pocket like this? I'm not a quarterback, but I can probably tell you that there's not much better than having a clean pocket like that. And it really starts with those interior guys, the centers, the guards, the ability to anchor and shut a guy down. This right here is such a great job. And the crazy part with Ingram, in my opinion, at least what I saw on tape against the Raiders as well as the Niners here, is he did a great job and he didn't need the double team help. Like the center was able to go and help the left guard more often than he helped the right guard. And I think that kind of just tells you how good of a football player this guy can already be. In fact, I think the Vikings have a starting right guard for the next 10 years. Because Ed Ingram's absolutely the real deal. He fits the scheme. He's good. He's powerful. He's physical. There's probably not much more that you would ask from a player like him. Alrighty guys, jumping into the next play, check out Ed Ingram's block. I think he does a really solid job at a certain point in this play, but he is the reason this play doesn't work. And in my opinion, that is okay because these are the types of things that a coach will explain to the young rookie. On this play, he's going to do a great job with the double team block on 78, and he really moves number 78. Now, after he moves him, he needs to get off of this guy quicker and get to the linebacker, because ultimately this linebacker blows the play up. And that is his responsibility. Now, there are some positives with this play. First and foremost, the fact that him and the center here can double team this guy, and he's powerful enough to help the center reach to a guy in a 3 technique. That's impressive. Centers should not be reaching to a 3 technique defensive tackle. But if you have a good guard and the guard's able to turn number 78 the way he does right there, that punch, that point of contact that he makes, that strength, that physicality, you are able to get some centers to get to that 3 tech. But he needs to realize quicker who to get to. He needs to process this a little bit faster. That delay right there is the reason why this play gets blown up. You know, at this point, he needs to quickly switch his focus and get up to number 49. He needs to seal it off so this running back can hit his lane. Again, this is a coachable moment. The coach is going to bring this up during practice and say, you're spending just half a second too long on that initial double team block. The center will get there. You make contact and you move forward. You don't need to spend more than half a second. Quickly make contact, hit the guy, and move forward. And again, the fact that he's able to make contact and be so powerful and physical and move number 78, I think that's something he's going to get used to as he progresses throughout his career. He's going to realize that he's stronger than most defensive linemen and that he doesn't have to do much in order to move people. And of course, with experience, as he plays more guys, as he plays some better guys, some worse guys, he will start putting it together. And again, I think the potential here is there. At the point of contact, I don't think there's a guy stronger than Ingram. Like, this guy gives me Gabe Jackson vibes. He gives me vibes of a football player who is just more physical and powerful than most other guys. I mean, look how low he gets with the right tackle here. And look at how he's able to help that right tackle overtake the defensive tackle. You know, guards generally aren't doing stuff like this. Like, yeah, technically this is their job, but they don't do things like this. Like, this is not normal right here. Not only is he going to help and make sure the right tackle overtakes the guy, and then he's going to get up to the next level, he's going to seal him off as well. And of course, the running back does get blown up from the backside. Unfortunately, the 2 guys here don't block this defensive end. But initially, Ingram does do a solid job, and this play could have kicked for a little bit more yards than it actually went for. Let's get into the next rep. As I mentioned in the last play, Ed Ingram is very physical, and I really want to get that point across. Here's another example of him doing a great job moving the center, really getting and moving this defensive tackle. Think about from a pre-snap alignment. This defensive tackle is basically on the inside hash here. And at the point of attack, look at how far he goes to the left of the inside hash. That's a great job. And again, it's the strength that Ingram plays with. And then again, he tries sticking with the guy. The guy does kind of get off the block a little late. That is something he'll have to continue to work on. But not a major deal. This is a gain of 5 yards on first down. I think the coaching staff will take that. As we're saying, Ed Ingram's very strong at the point of attack. In his run blocking, that obviously carries over into pass pro as well. And truth be told, he does a pretty solid job. If he's in a one-on-one situation with the defensive tackle, he pretty much shuts it down. He has good hands. He punches, he anchors. He doesn't get off balance. His technique's very good. In my opinion, the Vikings got a really good offensive guard. Ed Ingram will continue to develop. Obviously, you know, there's some advanced things he can learn. Things like forking and snatching, potentially setting in different angles and stuff like that. But overall, the guy looks really good. Let's go ahead and get into the next rep. As we're kind of talking about his pass blocking, we see this rep right here when Javon Kinlaw beats Ed Ingram and gets the sack. Now, Kinlaw is a top 15 pick. I think he's in year 3, so he's in that pivotal year to really show that he's the next defensive tackle potentially for the Niners. He's the next future guy for the Niners, I should say. And Ingram does lose. Now, first and foremost, this is great because for Ingram, he needs to develop and learn these type of things. Ingram's going to initially set out, which is going to make Ingram at least open his hips to kind of match that. And you're going to see Kinlaw's going to give him a hard, powerful jab back to the inside. With that inside jab, he's going to also use his hands and swipe, and he's going to essentially beat Ingram. Now, I will say this, right? Kellen Mond, obviously, in my opinion, isn't that good of a quarterback. A good quarterback would see this, feel it, and get the ball out. Now, of course, Mond didn't do that necessarily, right? Again, we're not going to get into that, but Just talking about the rep, you see Kinlaw's going to go out, and then he's going to come back with that powerful jab step to the inside. And that jab step right there is very nice by Kinlaw. He's able to quickly shift his hips, change his direction. And then watch his right hand right here. Swipe, and then the left hand comes underneath right there. And Kinlaw's in a spot where he's won this rep. Now, one of the things with this play, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, the slide protection was oftentimes going away from the right guard. In this case, it was going to the right of your screen, which means the center here is not double teaming, or at least even there to help out Ingram. And of course, you guys see that this was set up by the Niners. Great job setting this up. They're going to show a little bit more on this side, kind of force the offensive lineman to go that way. And then they put Kinlaw with Ingram in a one-on-one situation, and Kinlaw was able to win, obviously. It is teach tape, right? Never forget, these things don't matter. I can show you guys in his 30 snaps against the Niners that he won 29 of those 30 snaps. And this just happened to be the one losing rep. Again, not a major deal, right? He'll look at this, he'll get better, and he'll learn. These are the type of reps that you want him to take in preseason. With that being said, let's get into the next rep. Once again, the San Francisco 49ers load up the line of scrimmage. They put these two backers right over the guards in those A-gaps. And they're going to want to confuse the offense line. Now, Ed Ingram is going to go one-on-one with the defensive tackle, lined up really in that 4-eye technique here. And he does a good job punching, using his hands, and ultimately the pocket is clean enough that the quarterback's able to throw the pass. As you guys see, it's not a very accurate pass, but this is a nice job by Ingram. Once again, when we talk about Ed Ingram, we talk about those hands, we talk about his pass protection, and how I think he does a great job anchoring. And I think that's going to go a really, really long way as he kind of develops, as he gets better throughout the course of his career. And overall, I think the Minnesota Vikings got themselves a really good right guard. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this is the first time you're coming across this channel, please consider subscribing. We do Vikings content as well as a bunch of other NFL teams. Do know as the season comes along, I do plan to do at least one film breakdown of the Minnesota Vikings, rather it's Ed Ingram, rather it's Urza Cleveland or Christian Darrisaw. I do plan to do at least one breakdown every single week, and maybe it's not offensive line. Maybe we'll break down the linebacker or the young safety. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.